Do you love old cars and trucks? Join us on Bring 'em Back to Life, where we search the salvage yards and backyards of America to find that gold mine of a parts car or that restorable gem in the rough. Come with us down memory lane as we elevate the status of our salvage yards to outdoor museums of automotive history.
We're in Wishart, North Dakota.
My name is Mike Martell. Been in the salvage business all my life. Over the years, got larger.
Look at this, two-door hardtop. Galaxy 500 XL. This is a 390 stick car. Two-door hardtop. Whoa, that sounds nice.
I'm Michael Martell. I do own Martell's Incorporated presently. I purchased it from my father about 2.5 years ago. It is a third generation family with myself, and I have my son Ross that is going to be a partner with me and will be a fourth generation. The reason I basically purchased this was he has lots of older, more valuable cars, and he always had a love and a passion for that. Throughout the years, he's had several people that have wanted to come in and buy the inventory and basically crush it, process it, and move it out for scrap iron. He's had many chances to sell it, but he decided that he was going to keep it in the family, so my son and I decided we were going to purchase it from him and continue it as an ongoing business. We run the scrap yard beside it, and so we are bringing in lots of vehicles all the time and adding to it. We have lots of vehicles to offer for parts and also for repairable units. My grandfather started back about 1935, I believe was the actual date, and right behind us in this actual building is where the first original yard was, and he started out with about 300 cars, and it has grown since then. And we've moved it off this location to a different location about a half mile south there.
And he said he's purchased over 100 acres, and there's probably 60 of them covered with cars, trucks, and tractors.
Exactly. There is 60 acres in the back, and we are moving out of there because we were kind of landlocked, and we were moving forward. I would say by the time we get things spread out, we will have about 100 acres of product out there.
And I'm going to hope that people see it and want to come remove some of it for projects.
Exactly. We got lots of stuff out there. We have people coming from all over the United States and even different parts of the world now. The biggest thing that we see or hear from people is that we don't have a lot of rusted out products there. A lot of our cars were not subject to salt like you get some of the other states, and so there are a lot of body parts that are still in very good shape yet.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael, and we enjoyed our afternoon with mostly with Ross and your dad, but now we got the story from you, and since we talked on the phone, now I've got the 3 generations involved, and we met your wife, and I hope we can help you move parts. Thanks a lot.
Very good, thank you.
What I did over the years, I kept the cars up here because I didn't want to get it robbed for parts. You put them in the scrap yard, they get robbed. And there's some nice ones like that Pontiac convertible, the 47.
Yes.
55 Chevrolet convertible, two-door hardtop.
Two-door hardtop, yep.
And there's a 63-year-old convertible, 47 Chevrolet convertible. You know, these beautiful cars. And we've got a couple of 50 of them pallets over here.
Oh, hardtops, yep.
Yeah. And then there's an old 41 Oldsmobile here. And there, that's a nice little car. That's complete. I took it in and I painted some primer over it. Just sprayed can, you know.
Right.
Here's my old salvage yard pickup right here. You see the old weapons carrier?
Army, yep.
And I do have the engine completely rebuilt. This first one right up on top.
Really?
And I have in mind to restore that car. I have a 23 Oldsmobile sitting in the other building. Then he passed it. Oh. Here, Ross, you got a letter from him?
His son called me, and he wants to come buy that car because his dad wrote a social security number and his address and everything in it to make sure that somebody would get it someday.
Oh.
Somebody in the family, so we pulled it out from the trees back there.
Now, Ross, you were telling me that you're a pickup guy, so you've round up all of these pickups
Yep.
from the yard.
Yep.
You've lined them all out here, and they're for sale.
Yep, they're all for sale.
So
Well, not all of them. A couple of them I'm going to steal. This 46 I like.
they were all for sale before we went and got Grandpa.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what it's like.
I always want to fix the little 46. If the good Lord would give me about 50 more years, I might be able to restore a few more. He got his, good Lord's got the clock set when the alarm goes off.
Well, the trick is to be ready when the alarm goes off.
I won't make it.
I just,
I won't make it.
Oh, we got a bunch of nice tractors.
There's,
Yeah, they got
what's that yellow? That's a Ford back there? That's an Air Force?
But if a guy needs a door or any hoods or anything
The
at all
cabs
fits
are always
on your
nice
pickups.
on them.
that's right.
They're always nice.
Or
and
the
they
whole
fit
complete
your half
cab,
tons.
you know, they'll interchange.
Yes,
Yeah.
except those real early Fords. They look like the same
Here's
truck, but
another
they...
Ford right here that due to hard time. You should get that put together a little bit. The guys in Texas want them.
Oh, here's the 57 Chevy row.
Yep.
Yeah,
There's
that
a
car there, I was always going to restore that four-door hardtop.
Yeah.
And then there was a local gentleman got killed in it, and I just didn't.
Oh.
I sort of
There's
got,
57s up here, 58s down here.
yeah. It was 58 sitting along this side over here, all the way through.
Yeah.
59s and 60s.
You say you like old cars, you say you like old trucks. If you've been looking for one and you've had no luck, well, come along with us, a trip down memory lane. On a walkabout, you'll be glad that you came. Say you like old cars, you say you like old trucks. If you've been looking for one and you've had no luck, well, come along with us, a trip down memory lane. On a walkabout, you'll be glad that you came. Say you like old cars, and you say you like old trucks. If you've been looking for one and you've had no luck, well, come along with us, a trip down memory lane. On a walkabout, you'll be glad that you came.
We are back in the garage. Not the same one with the 57 Chevy, but I'm going to reference that because when I found that 57 Chevy in the salvage yard, I put a battery in it, got the key in the ignition, and the engine turned over. So that was off to a really good start, and of course you saw the tune-up and everything we did, and that car's now running and driving. The 56 Chevy convertible, on the other hand, was in storage somewhere a lot longer than that 57. And this old 265, we've put a battery in it, we've put it in gear, we've rocked it back and forth, we've put liquid in the spark plug cylinders to try to loosen it up, and it will not turn over. So we got Roger to volunteer tonight, our machinist and our mechanic, and we're going to start tearing this thing down, look inside this 265, and see if this power pack can be tuned up enough to run, or if we're going to just yank it out for now, stick another 265 in here and make it run, because this is bringing back to life, not big dollar restoration. So tonight, the 265 is going to get somewhat of a tear down. We're going to see what it looks like.
Well, we can edit out video, right? Or sound.
Yep, oil ain't gonna hurt nothing.
No, that's supposed to happen. It needs a battery and all lubrication. We pulled the valve cover off, and it looks pretty clean in there. It's not all full of old burnt oil. So now we have to go down further and see what else it looks like in there. Now the other reason we're taking a little extra time to get down into this engine is that 57 Chevy we found only had 70,000 original miles on it, so that's not relatively high. But this 56, the odometer stopped at 90-some thousand, so it's probably due for a rebuild anyway, but we just got to take a look and see if we can determine why she seized. Tank repair kit that you dump the stuff in and you run it around inside and clean it out and dump it in and seal it.
Okay.
If it's not rotten, we can put it back in.
You know what I've done before? Take a trailer, a little tiny tow behind trailer, hook it to a four-wheeler, fill it with marbles,
Drive it around.
drive it around, run it through a cornfield, that thing will bounce, and you put a strap so
Yep.
it gets all out.
About the same. So nothing drastic.
Here's something you don't see on very many 56 Chevys. This is the part of the underhood wire harness that goes to the overdrive switch. One of the things we have to make sure we pay attention to, because I may have a museum full of 56 Chevys, but this is the only one I've got that's a factory 4-barrel setup with a power pack and a 3-speed overdrive. So I got to be careful where all these parts are when we take this one apart.
Yep.
We learned a trick about them little 4-barrels right there from an old hot rodder, remember? Back in 60s, he bought a new car. And he bypassed the override switch for the overdrive to lock in the little first gear, which made a really fast little race car right there. Well, 1956 fast, not 2017.
And that's because the 56-7 Chevy era, when they came from the factory with 3-speed overdrives, had 411 gears in the rear end. That was part of the package.
So they'll move and get out of the way if they want to.
Back there's about 2 acres or 3 acres of Omnish or horse-drawn farm machinery. Or the Omnish. Got Omnish out your way?
No.
No.
In Pennsylvania or something?
Pennsylvania,
Right.
not near us.
There's some in
That's about
Minnesota.
8 hours from us.
There's some in
Lancaster.
Minnesota that come out here occasionally and pick up stuff.
Lancaster's about 8 hours.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? we missed
Amish
it.
Mafia, they got the TV show.
Okay,
Oh my
you
gosh.
go down, make a left, Ross.
What are you looking for?
Well, this 62 Impala hardtop has a door missing, but it's still got the small block right there. And it was a standard shift. It was probably a 283, but it doesn't say. But it does have a hole cut in the hump. It looks like the transmission is still there. V8 standard. Bench seat still in it. A two-door ranch wagon. That's about a 54. And two Chevys. Two-door sedans. This one's a standard shift. And this one's a standard shift. This one's got the seats in it. This one doesn't. Chevrolet, it says. This is an early Chevrolet. Looks like it was a two-door coach cut down for a pickup. (1938) Chevrolet convertible before and after.
I'll tell you what, you guys are in Mandan, North Dakota. It's the start of the West. Here we are in Mandan, North Dakota with a big car show outside that you're going to see a lot of filming on. Our name is Tom and Sherry Freet. This project was about a 4-year build out of the trees into a beautiful black cherry that we've driven down to the Gulf of Mexico. We've driven it on the Indianapolis Speedway. We've driven it on the Kansas City Speedway. We do a lot of runs, a lot of car shows around the country, and it's just been a blast, a fun car.
Yep, it was pulled out of the trees in 1996. It was a 4-year build, and we started driving it in 2001, and it's 2018 and we're still driving it. and we absolutely love it. And everybody else loves it when we go through towns, and we've had a lot of wedding couples in the back rumble seat. We've had our kids for high school graduation in the back seat, in the rumble seat. It's just
Proms.
been proms.
Don't.
Our kids have all been to proms in the back seat, rumble seat. It's awesome.
If you find an old car that doesn't look like it can be built, don't believe it. This is a true picture that you can rebuild them, bring them out of the grave, and reintroduce them.
Bring them back to life. That's our motto.
Back
bet.
to life. We've enjoyed
is
it.
it.
It's an awesome car.
Thank you very much. Oh yes, the rumble seat.
Mother-in-law's seat.
Yeah, they call it the mother-in-law seat.
This morning, Renee and I are in Bismarck, North Dakota, at an event sponsored by the North Dakota Street Rod Association. Last night, we were across the Missouri River in Mandan at a rod run. So this is a big event here this year and every year, and we're going to be part of it. So what year is your beautiful Chrysler?
32.
32.
All steel body.
Uh-huh.
Original frame.
Right.
Front end isn't the same. That's got a Mustang 2 front end under it.
That's very common.
And a 350 Chevy with a 700R.
Really? In a Chrysler? Wow. like it doesn't happen.
The ignition key is Chevrolet, and the door key is a Ford.
But it's a street rod. That's what we do, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's a 51 Ford, it says.
It's the one he just restored.
George Masters is what he says.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said, I'm with Renee, and we're in Bismarck, North Dakota, and I just met a Facebook friend, George Masters, and you've got a gorgeous 51 Ford Woody wagon. Tell us about this project, George.
Well, yes, sir. This became really neat because I got a call one day from my buddy that's just behind us that said, I'm buying 4 cars and there's a Woody in the corner of this Quonset. Would you be interested in? I said, well, I never did a Woody. How about we get it? So I bought it from him, and I said, we got to get it right away because the wife wanted to sell it and the husband didn't. Have you ever heard that story? So I said, go get it this afternoon on a rollback. So there's pictures in the back that show it getting forklifted off the rollback, and they set it on my trailer. The main body was actually pretty good. There was no wood left at all. So I decided that I was going to do a real high-end restoration on this car, so we went with an Art Morrison chassis. The wheels are custom made in California so that the original hubcaps would fit a 17-inch powder-coated wheel. So, because I wanted to look. The color that I picked was off a 2015 Camaro SS, and it's a dark metallic green. And the wood I had made in Fife, Washington, by a gentleman that does it, one of the best in the country, I'll have to say. It took me 15 months to get it, and I'm kind of impatient, but you just wait. So now you have a body, and you have new wood. The body's not painted. You have a chassis and an engine that's kind of fitted. The chassis is not painted because the engine's not done and mounted. The body's not done. Now you got to fit wood to it. So they had to mount the wood or mount the body onto the chassis as it's going to be permanently. Then they put the wood on the car and they sand it to fit the contours of where it's going to go. Because every door is different, every side panel is different. Then you take that wood back off after it's sanded, and then you finish it. This has a Spar Marine varnish on it from a marine varnish. And then you got to take the body back off the chassis. You got to do the body work, paint the car, finish the chassis, paint it or powder coat it, put the body back on the way it's going to be setting so your stance is right. Paint the body then, and then you mount the wood with all stainless steel bolts that have hidden nuts behind them. And then you're kind of on your way, but you're still not done because you got to put it together. You got to get the interior done. Interiors don't just happen. Interiors have to be planned and scheduled. So the place I had this done in Minnesota coordinated with an interior guy that they selected based on his workmanship. So then the car was, I'm going to say, 80% done. So it went over into Pelican Rapids, Minnesota, and that fella did the interior. Now I met him and I picked the general tones, but I let him pick the design and everything. If you look at the stainless, special stainless on the doors, you'll see it matches the stainless on the dash. Oh. And he came up with that. The carpet, I said, what do you think if, you got a brown and a tan leather interior here, what would you think we do a tan carpet? He said, well, what would you think if we did dark green? I said, you know what you're doing. If you think dark green would look nice, that sounds okay to me. So thus, the dark green carpet with the tan piping, and the seats are kind of a leather and vinyl combined. They're not all leather. And it's just the way I wanted it. It came out perfect. I love it. It's there's like no flaws in the paint. I don't know how you ever get a paint job with no flaws in it, because that's almost impossible. But we've had many people look at it and there's no flaws in the paint.
So what pulls it around, George?
I have a 408 stroker I had built by Proformance in Melbourne, Florida. It's got a Holly Sniper fuel injected system on it, all electronic overdrive 5-speed Ford transmission, and it's dynoed at 545 horsepower. And I finished it, so this is the 9th of June. I finished it in March. So I trailered it to 3 shows indoors through the winter. Okay. And now we're starting to drive it. Still have a few bugs to work out on it, but it's a pleasure. It's rare to have one in the Dakotas specifically. Right. And one of this quality is just great. I'm real proud of it.
And you should be. And you should. I'm so glad to meet you. I'm going to let my wife hold the camera and I'm going to shake hands and tell people that another Facebook friend meeting in person.
Nice to meet you.
Because if you go in, you can see the rugs.
Yep.
See green.
Oh, you want to know something else?
Sure.
This is an I Did It steering column, which is Chevrolet, right?
Pretty much.
Got the original Ford steering wheel, right?
Yeah.
They had to spline that shaft to get the Ford steering wheel. Isn't that pretty? This is done by an artist. This is painted by an artist, that wood right there, because they aren't normally that way, they're plastic.
Have a good time.
Wow.
Once you get hungry, you know, Scotty's is offering a great deal inside. Just ask for the Show and Shine combo. That's the Show and Shine combo. You're going to get a Scotty's Junior double cheeseburger, a small fry, and a drink. That's a pretty good deal. For $4.99, you get a double cheeseburger, a fry, a small drink. So, you're hungry? Now or later, go on and help yourself. Scotty's always has good food. We're going to be here for most of the day. At least until about 3 o'clock.
I know, absolutely. I deserve a hug.
Have a good day.
Yeah, thanks. How do you like my license plate?
Yeah.
We got it.
I like the tan color better.
I know, but that's not the quality of that one.
I like your power steering.
Thank you.
Takes about all the power you've got.
Well, all I can tell you is I'm not going to arm wrestle with her.
I saw you drive in together and I said, oh, his and hers, I gotta go get them.
Yep, I've been chasing them for 22 years.
And tell me about your car.
This is a 1929 Ford Model 8 Phaeton and our 1930 Ford Phaeton.
We're climbing on them. We don't want to scratch any of the cars. They're nice to look at. We want to keep it that way for next time. So if you want to enjoy the cars, go ahead and look around. If you just want something to eat, stop in at Scotty's. Help yourself.
The body kit. So let's walk out and so I can see it from the front and you can tell me a little about your car. And your name if you want.
Sure.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Levi Bitts, and this is my Paul Walker replica Eclipse. I'm a huge Fast and Furious fan. I did this for Paul Walker. Got 12,000 into it. From Bismarck, North Dakota.
And this is the only recognizable movie car in Bismarck.
Yep, the only recognizable movie car in the state of North Dakota. I'm the only one.
The longest and tallest railroad bridge in America. Over the Cheyenne River in Valley City, North Dakota.
Say you like old cars, and you say you like old trucks. If you've been looking for one, and you've had no luck, come along with
We'll go on down to my
us.
other yard. I
Rip down
collect old
memory
bikes
lane.
and old trikes.
On a
You'll be
walk
quite impressed.
tonight, you'll be glad that you came.